Hello my loves, welcome back to Lavendaire. It is that time of year again for us to start planning for the new year. So just like we did last year, I'm gonna split up the new year planning into 2 videos. Today in this video, we are going to reflect on 2023. I'll share some prompts, and then tomorrow I'm gonna post another video to help us plan for 2024, set our goals and our intentions, and think about the future. But before we move on to the future, we have to reflect on the past, because this is where we're gonna get our learnings and our feedback from. So all of the prompts that I share today will be based off of our 2024 Artist of Life workbook. If you have the workbook, you can use it to journal along with this video. But if you don't have the workbook, it's totally fine. I'm gonna share the prompts and then you can just use any notebook you have or do it on a Word doc. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you look into the Artist of Life workbook. I created this to help you plan your most amazing and successful year yet. We have a physical version. We also have a digital version that's a PDF. You can fill it out interactively on your computer, your tablet, or you can print it out. I was spending last night reading some of the reviews that you guys left for the workbook so far, and I just want to say thank you to anyone who already left a review for the workbook. I love reading them and it just fills my heart. Just thank you for giving me your positive feedback, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Without further ado, let's move on to our prompts. Starting with the first prompt, finish the sentence. 2023 was the year that I ... fill in the blank. So what was 2023 all about for you? Maybe you can summarize it in a phrase, a sentence, maybe even just a word. Let me know in the comments down below, how would you finish the sentence? 2023 was the year that I blank. Next prompt, list all of the highlights and accomplishments in 2023 that you're proud of. Think back on all the big moments of 2023 that you want to remember. What are the moments that you're proud of? What did you do? What were your accomplishments? This is the first page in the workbook, and I give you basically the whole page to list out your highlights and accomplishments, because it's so important to have a space where you can just summarize your year at a glance. And so whenever I look back at my years, I really just read this page. I have all the workbooks from 2017, and I just go to this page and it just has all of the highlights from that year, and it's really nice to just see your year in a page. Next prompt, what worked in 2023? What were your wins? What were the things that worked for you, whether it's something big or whether it's something small? Maybe you added a positive habit, or maybe you adopted a new positive belief this year. Prompt number 4, what didn't work in 2023? So name at least 3 mistakes or failures that you had this year, and then write what you learned from them. So there must have been things that didn't go well. It's fine, that's life, it happens, right? But what's important is that we reflect on it and then we see if there's anything we can learn from it or any way that we could have done better for next time. All right, next prompt, what did I learn in 2023? So what were the things that you learned? This is a place where you can put your life lessons, or it could be a place where you can list the skills that you learned this year. What did you learn? Next prompt, how did my life evolve in 2023? So this is where you can reflect on how you grew or how your life changed throughout the course of the year. All right, last prompt, what about 2023 am I most grateful for? So reflect on your entire year and make a list of all the things that you are most grateful for this year. I think this could be as short or as long as you want. It could be 3 biggest things you're grateful for, or if you're the type that likes to do a lot of gratitude dumping or gratitude journaling, where you just write as many as you can think of, that could also be a great way to do this exercise. By the way, if you like journaling to my videos like this and you want to reflect a little bit more on this past year before you move on to planning your new year, then you can check out my last video. It's called How to Have a Better Year in 2024, and I share some other prompts and exercises in that video that you can also journal to, and those are not the same as what I shared today, but they're also related to the workbook. So if you like all of this journaling and going in depth with reflecting and planning, then you should just check out the workbook. But I always like to share these resources for free on YouTube as well. So now I'm going to share a little bit of my reflection on this past year, my highlights and what I learned. I had a few big highlights and a lot of little ones. The biggest one would be, this was the year that I bought a new house with Wilson, and we've been spending the whole year remodeling, designing, and shopping, and just just building our ideal dream home, and it's taking a lot longer than we had anticipated, but it's been a huge learning process and a really fun creative project for me. Another thing was in our Lavendaire community, we launched our new Discord. If you are not in it, I'll leave the link down below. It's free to join. And then we launched our membership program, Dream Life Club. We have a mastermind program, and we've been running that since March of this year. It's been like a continuous tinkering, fine-tuning, and improving process throughout the year, and we've been doing monthly live events on Zoom. So that's something new that I challenged myself to do this year. It's a new experience for me to show up live and do a live guided meditation and host these live events. My top 2 events from this year was probably the first one, which is a healing workshop with my healer, Michelle Moon. The other favorite was the workshop that I led called the Self-Confidence Workshop. And so all of our workshops you can find on my website. We do them live, and then after they're done, we leave them up for anyone to access. Other highlights from this year, I traveled to Italy with my family. That was a really nice and just precious trip with my cousin and aunts and uncles and my mom. I went to Alaska on a cruise. That was super beautiful, super fun. I had a summer of concerts where the highlight was Taylor Swift Eras Tour in LA. That will go down as a lifetime memory. I will tell that story. I will talk about that for the rest of my life, just how amazing and how uplifting and beautiful that experience was. We did our workbook photo shoots at my new house this year, actually. It was our Life is an Art concept, and it is hands down my favorite concept, favorite photo shoot that we've shot for the workbook, because it literally is a visual representation of the brand, Artist of Life. Life is an art, make it your masterpiece. I wanted to make that a visual and make it a story, and I'm quite proud of it because it's something that I had been dreaming about for months. This year we had some amazing guests on our podcast, The Lavendaire Lifestyle. Sometimes I'm just amazed at the people that I'm able to get onto my podcast and be able to interview and speak to. So to name a few, we had Gretchen Rubin on our podcast. She's best-selling author of The Happiness Project. She is top podcaster. And we had Mimi Icon. She is someone that I looked up to for years. Even before I started this channel, I watched her YouTube and I followed her journey. So cool that I got to interview her. And my favorite episode from this year is probably the one with Rachel Lim. She's the founder of Love Bonito. It's a fashion retailer based in Singapore, and she is just one of the smartest women I've interviewed, and she is so inspiring. So definitely check out those episodes. They're all so good. I'm so grateful to have a podcast and be able to interview all these amazing, inspiring people. So if you haven't checked out the podcast, you're missing out. And the last thing I'll share about my year was this was the year that I truly spent a lot less time on social media, and that had its own pros and cons. I spent a lot more time working on myself, my healing, putting a lot of time into self-care and developing my hobbies. I even developed a whole new self-care system to track my ideal routines and habits and things like that. And I shared that in a recent video as well. But this was a year of a lot of internal work behind the scenes, a lot of stuff that wasn't shared publicly. Nobody on the outside could really tell what I was going through, but I was going through a lot underneath what was, beneath it all. Moving on to what I learned this past year. The big thing was the process of designing the house. I learned a lot about interior design, a lot about the process of renovating and how things are built and how things are made. And I think a lot of those lessons are metaphors for life. They're metaphors for business, because it's all about doing things in the right order, getting your foundation really right, finding the right people to work with. It's all about finding people with the right vibe, with the right work ethic, with the right values, and that will set a great foundation for a better project. There's all these lessons that I learned, learning to be patient in the process and enjoy the process, enjoy the creative process, and also enjoy being a beginner at something and looking at life as a beginner, having a beginner's mind in everything that you approach, because only with that, your mind is completely open and you're a blank slate and you're humble. Because if you think you know everything, your mind is fixed and it's closed off to learning something new. You're not even gonna be open to new knowledge or new perspectives because you're oh, I already know this. I mentioned already how I created better systems for my life this year. I created a better to-do list system for my weekly to-dos. I created a new self-care and habit system, a system to track and make sure that I'm doing all the things that are important to me outside of work, even stuff like my hobbies, spending time tracking how much time I spend on music and singing and dancing. The next lesson is more of a reminder that you have to continue to challenge yourself in order to grow. You can't just do the same things expecting better results. You have to get out of your comfort zone, do something new, try something different, and take some risks in order to move on to the next level. And this goes on forever, for the rest of your life. You can't just like coast. On that note was also learning to adopt the mindset to detach my self-worth and my emotions from the results of doing these challenges, right? Because sometimes we challenge ourselves and then it fails. It doesn't go the way we want, and then we feel bad about ourselves. We feel like, oh, what was the point of trying? Like, you just have these like negative thought patterns that can come up. And this year was really recognizing when that happens and learning to like shift that mindset into a positive. So instead of letting failures and mistakes like that make me feel down, make me feel like, oh, it's a setback, instead of letting it slow me down and make me feel low, I take it as pure information. Like, okay, why did this happen? And let me use this as information to try again and do better next time. It is just looking at these things that you do as like experiments. It has nothing to do with your self-worth, and you don't have to let your emotions and worth get tied into the results of everything. And if you can have that detached mindset, then you can approach challenges with ease, because it's not about like being nervous if things don't go well. It's about, let me do it, let me try it. It's an experiment, and whether it goes right or wrong, it doesn't matter, because everything is information that will teach me how to do better next time. All right, that wraps up our 2023 reflections. Hope you enjoyed planning with me. If you're ready to move on to plan your next year, 2024, then you can check out the next video. I'll be posting it tomorrow, and if it's already up, I'll leave the link here and down below. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.